Good morning, everybody, and a happy Monday morning. All right, we have a lot to talk about. There's a lot of royal news and there's a lot of Harry, Meghan. Let's just jump in and get busy. Let's go. We're going to start off with the next day of Ascot. So in carriage number 1, we had King Charles, Queen Camilla, and Lord and Lady Cavendish. In carriage 2, we have Sheikh Hamad bin Abdullah, the Marchioness of Lansdowne, the Earl and the Countess of Caledon. Carriage 3 has Lord and Lady Bamford and Mr. and Mrs. Willie Mullins. And carriage 4 has the Lord Lloyd Webber, Lady Lord Webber, the Right Honorable Lord Benyon, and Lady Benyon. Now, of course, the procession ended. I don't have all the video this time around. Sorry, guys. And everybody got out of the carriages. You know the way it goes. The whole family is standing around. This time, Princess Eugenie was there. It was interesting. First, it was Beatrice. Now, Beatrice isn't there and Eugenie's there. And Eugenie dipped down into a very low curtsy as she was greeting the Queen. And also to the right there, you can see Zara. We're going to be discussing Zara in just a minute. I thought it was lovely. King Charles gave Eugenie a kiss on the hand. But you know who else's hand he kissed? Sarah Ferguson. So here we are, day 4. And Sarah, who was there with Beatrice, is now there with Eugenie. People are writing about what Eugenie is wearing, how she is the epitome of elegance in this outfit. This is not the first time we've seen this outfit, but I do love her hat. She's looking gorgeous. As I said, I think the daughters take turns. Probably Eugenie was watching her children and Beatrice's children. Now Beatrice is probably back watching Eugenie's children. Anyway, Eugenie is there with Jack Brooksbanks, and they're waving at the carriages as they went by, and then they were greeted by the king. Eugenie and Sarah also happen to have a fabulous relationship, just like William does with the Middletons. And really quickly, bopping over to Zara, you know, she's always dressed well, but this year at Ascot, she really seems to have outdone herself. This powder blue number that she's wearing is absolutely gorgeous. Okay, it's beautiful. I still like the black and white outfit where she looks like My Fair Lady. That was my absolute best favorite. But she does look gorgeous again in this royal blue outfit, and I absolutely adore that hat she's wearing. No denying it. She is just gorgeous. Now, next up is Sophie Winkleman. She is Lady Frederick Windsor. She's a British actress. She is married to Lord Frederick Windsor, the son of Prince Michael of Kent and second cousin to King Charles. Also spotted was Lady Amelia Spencer and Lady Eliza Spencer. Those are the twin nieces of Princess Diana. Also, man, there's some good genes in that family. Those girls are gorgeous. You know, this light white color must be the color of the day for everybody. All right, next up, I hope I say this right, Fiona Mary Petty Fitzmaurice, who was the Marchioness of Lansdowne. She was up in the royal box. She's one of those women that just looks like she'd be a ton of fun. We know that it's very hot at Ascot this year. It was very hot in the UK this year. But this woman, Fiona, is apparently using a fan to help keep herself cool. This fan that she's showing off was allegedly especially designed by the Fan Museum for Queen Camilla. And don't forget, Queen Camilla is the patron of the Fan Museum. She's been the patron since she was the Duchess of Cornwall in 2008. And besides the Marchioness of Lansdowne, they were also joined, Charles and Camilla were, by Jane von Westenholz. And eventually Sophie Winkleman made her way up to the box as well. Now you should know that there were other people, other celebrities there that day. Sir Andrew Lloyd Webber was there. Nick Knowles and his wife Catherine, or Katie if you want to call her, made their first appearance since their wedding. Jordan North was there. Even J.K. Rowling and her husband Neil Murray were there, which is, they're saying, very rare. So lots of people there at this particular event. Let me just say that, as usual, Charles and Camilla looked absolutely adorable together. I love that hat of Camilla. She always has the most interesting hats. But they look so happy together. And they obviously enjoy Ascot and the racing very much. A big thank you to Remoulade Sauce, as usual, for showing us what most of the young ladies were wearing. Now, before we move on, we have one more outfit to look at. Sarah Ferguson, the dress that she was wearing, the last time she was seen wearing it was in June of 1986. Before she married Andrew, she wore the dress to visit the world's oldest linen factory in Northern Ireland. She was seen in it one other time after the wedding, you can see, because her hair is cut short here. But I think it's wonderful that the royals re-wear everything. I love it. All right, let's move on. All right, next up, I just had to touch on this. First of all, it's Catherine, the Princess of Wales. Her ongoing recovery is apparently not as smooth sailing as people would like. Don't forget, she had major abdominal surgery in January of 2024. She was diagnosed with cancer. She shared it publicly in 2024, I believe it was March. And then she announced in September she'd completed cancer treatment. And then she decided in January to let everybody know that she was in remission. But it's been slow going. And I don't understand why people are so upset. She has to balance her return to public life. Maybe she didn't come out because she swelled up like a balloon because she's allergic to horses. We saw her sneezing for 2 days straight. But whatever it is, people need to get a grip. All right, next up, I just think this is absolutely fabulous. King Charles is going to be in a documentary. He signed a deal with Netflix. They're doing a documentary about the King's Trust, okay? The project is being done to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the King's charity, and Hollywood star Idris Elba, who was assisted by the King's Trust in his youth, is also going to be in there. They have rare access and insights into the King's Trust over the last 5 decades. And this guy, Idris, apparently has his own production company called 22 Summers, and he's going to be producing one of the episodes. As you can see, Mr. Idris has been involved with the King's Trust and has met the King multiple times over several years. So what's being said is that the King is pleased for the Trust to have this wonderful opportunity to showcase their work to a global audience, sharing the compelling stories of some of the more 1 million people it has helped in Britain and internationally over the last 50 years. And this guy, Idris, stepped up and said, the King's Trust gave me the opportunity that changed my life. When I didn't have any resources to pursue my ambitions, they offered real, practical, and financial support and help, and those helped me take those first steps to advance my career. I love it. Let's move on now to Princess Anne, who didn't go to Royal Ascot. Instead, she made her annual visit to the Strathcarron Hospice in Scotland, where she met staff, patients, and their families while she toured the facility. Next up, we have the Duke of Edinburgh, who's in Belgium. He visited the Waterloo battlefield to launch the garden restoration there. He laid wreaths at the British and French monuments and planted a Hiroshima ginkgo tree, I believe it's pronounced, which is a symbol of peace. Edward is actually in Brussels. Now, while he was there also, he had some tea with students from the Duke of Edinburgh Gold Awards, and that was to celebrate their youth achievement, leadership, and global citizenship. Now, one of the other reasons why Edward was there was, as you can see, is to help raise funds to lift Hougoumont, which is the chateau farm where Wellington vanquished Napoleon 210 years ago. Edward is supporting the campaign to restore this. This was a key defensive position during the Battle of Waterloo. It's a £1.3 million project to revitalize the gardens, including the orchard and a new biosphere area. Oh, very interesting. Very nice of Edward. All right, we're going to turn our attention back to Princess Anne, who went on a tour of the Royal Highland Show. So this is the 2025 Royal Highland Show at the Royal Highland Centre in Ingliston. And while she was there, not only did she tour, but she got to taste some chocolate at the schoolyard kitchen stand. I think some other people might have been tasting something else. All right, well, next up, we're going back to Princess Catherine, who shared a message honoring the very important role that children's hospices play in supporting seriously ill children. Don't forget, she is patron of several hospices. All right, next up, just so you know, a new £5 coin is going to be released to celebrate Princess Anne's 75th birthday. I love that. 75 years of devotion, it says. And of course, I believe Charles is on the back. And finally, I want to wish a very happy birthday to Prince William. These fabulous photos were taken, of course, by his fabulous wife. All right. Hunky Dunky's looking good. All right, look at the name of the person who wrote this article because she's a squatty. What she wrote was that Mr. Markle is very upset about being estranged from Meghan, which he is. But what she wrote in the article was that Meghan sent texts and letters to her father to try to patch things up. And then she was so hurt because her father leaked the email to the press. That is not what happened. You cannot rewrite history, lady. You shouldn't be reporting. It's misinformation, just like this next article that says that Harry's into wellness and mental health now, thanks to Meghan's influence and his involvement in mental health charities. He was in Heads Up together with William and Catherine way before Meghan came. And it's Meghan's decision that he should see a counselor. He's been involved in mental health and therapy. He's over-therapied. Like, are you kidding me? All right, time to move on to Meghan. Obviously, she's copying the Wales children. Here, the children on the left are on a bridge. On the right, she's on a bridge. Then, of course, we have these pictures of Harry and Meghan swinging, which we know she took from Catherine from the same event with the children. But what people don't realize is that she's actually taking a swipe at the royal family with this picture, right after she did it on that podcast, because King Charles gave Prince Archie a swing with the name on it, with his name engraved on it, that's very similar to the one that he gave to the Wales children and that he gave to Catherine and William. So she gets in the swing, gifted to her children from the king, and has the picture taken. A big thank you to Royally Thoughts for these memes that came out. And there's a video that came out. I'd love to tell you who did it, but I'm not exactly sure, but it's hilarious. So for those of you who may not have realized it, she drops these products on William's birthday. That's right. She decided to do her restocking and drop her summer stuff on William's birthday. Now, the interesting thing is everything that she put down as her summer offerings are the exact same things that she had before, with the exception of the apricot or apricot jam, whatever you want to call it, and an orange blossom honey. Now, she's also trying to get people to sign up because she's going to be dropping her wine soon. The wine, by the way, she's releasing on Diana's birthday. Again, this is done very deliberately. I'm not sure what her obsession is. She's 43 years old. From dating to marriage to Archie to leaving, she was only in the royal family for 3 years. But she apparently ignores the other 40 years, and she can only go on about the 3 that she had, while she was in the royal family. She has changed some of the pricing. Now you can get the jam itself or the spread, the apricot spread, for $9, but you can get it in the keepsake packaging for $14. And it says it is, and I'm quoting, balances a delicate sweetness and a gentle brightness that lets this beautiful stone shine through. Spoon it over yogurt, swipe it onto toast, or nestle it into a cake. Beautifully packaged in our signature glass jar with our emblematic brushed gold lid. This beautiful addition to your home is presented and keep blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, we have the sugar cookies. We have the tea, which, several people taste tested the tea. It did not taste test well. The honey, there's some sort of an issue. We also know that a lot of people ordered products last time. They didn't get their products. They were told they'd get something else. Nothing came. The company is refusing to give refunds. Several people are now disputing their purchases. What did I tell you guys about putting your information in? It was a mistake and it was going to backfire. Now, Meghan, during this, comes online and does this thing because according to her, they sold out in 6 minutes. So she comes on and she says, and I'm quoting, "We spent so much time making sure we had so much more inventory. That's why we took the time. And you guys are doing it again. We're nearly sold out on everything. And I can't believe it. Even the flower spinkles, which we made sure to have extra inventory, are almost sold out this time. Thanks, everybody." And she does this thing where she films her phone to try to show you. And she goes, is it sprinkles or confetti? What is it? Everybody's just like, okay. Those sounded desperate to me. I think it wasn't selling out very quickly. And her whole thing about, we took the time to make sure we had enough. That's not what went on at all. She decided to take a step back. Netflix had a cow and was like, we're your partners. No, you're not taking a step back. You need to get out there and sell. Let me just remind you that nothing of what she sells goes to charity. This is strictly money into her and Netflix's pocket. It's not organic either. You can go to Highgrove store and buy stuff from King Charles. Everything is organic. Everything is locally sourced there. They'll ship to anywhere, and 100% of all the proceeds go to charity. So if I had to choose where I want my money to go, I'm choosing Highgrove, and I'm choosing the products from King Charles. Well, it didn't take long. Jam expert Donna Collins came out and said, and I'm quoting, if it's a real disappointment that Meghan is selling a fruit spread, which is what you make when your jam fails. She said, in a jam industry, a spread is what we call something that didn't work. It can have the best ingredients, but if I had a jam that was too runny, I'd slap a label on it and call it a spread. There's no excuse. It should be perfect. She also said that Meghan's use of, quote, conventionally grown apricots, that they use pesticides. And why is she using pectin, which is a gelling agent, unless it's because her spread was too runny? Most spreads don't use pectin. She then went on to say, I don't know who's making her jam. I don't know who's, doing it. She goes, but it's not Meghan. And it's pretty obvious that whoever's doing it doesn't know what they're doing. What people are saying essentially is that Meghan's royal title and the Sussex name are boosting her brand, and she's going to cling to it because hopefully it'll bring her more fame and more fortune, which for her is imperative to her life. She's going to keep her fingers in as many pies and her name in as many lights as possible, with the hope that one or more of her ideas are going to bring in some cash, which is sorely needed by the two of them because, let's face it, they are running out fast. All right, we're going to finish up now with some memes. Enjoy. You guys know what to do. Hit the like and the subscribe button and the bell for all notifications, and then go down into the description box where you'll find the link to my Twitter, Gettr, Rumble, email, a link to my father's book, which is still up for sale, a link to my second channel, and a link to my Amazon wish list, as well as a physical address. For those of you who've donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.